What is up, everybody? Eric here from Soundcast Studios. Plugin Alliance recently put out a new emulation plugin, the SSL 9000J series. And so it is my understanding that simply placing the plugin on a channel imprints a sonic characteristic as a real console would. So I set up a test to try and see what that sonic characteristic is and the amount, whether it's noticeable or not. So here I have all 24 channels of the song are running through the plugin in different ways. Four versions of the song. The first version is literally just the plugin. So I just placed it, exported the track out, placed it back in. The second version, I cranked the input gain by 10 dB. So it's hitting the plugin a little harder. And then to compensate, I dragged the output down by 10. So it should roughly be the same volume, but with more of the console saturation. And then lastly, I did it by having all the plugins have, it was set to 0, but I cranked up the total harmonic distortion, which in theory adds more of that console saturation that you'd get when cranking the preamp on a console. So I'm going to be comparing them to the original. So this is with no actually, yeah, this is just the mix. This is just the SSL strip. This is the SSL strip with an increase in the input. And this is the SSL strip with total harmonic distortion at max. I'm going to play the track first, and then midway I'll switch between the four of them. And then after, I'll show you an inverted version, because in theory the inverted version will show you what's being added to the signal. So here we go. Let me solo this. Actually, let me make sure. There we go. This is soloed now.
Try, 'cause you know what I'll say. Tell me why we're playing this game. Just 'cause you can't find your peace of mind doesn't mean you have mine. Pensé, que te amaba.
If you're listening to this on headphones, you can ever so slightly hear the differences. It's super subtle. Not really sure if a lot of people would be able to tell. I could barely even tell. And maybe, honestly, I might not even be able to tell, and I can only tell because I can visually see that it's switching. So it's a little harder for me to objectively say I could hear the difference. Although there is technically a difference, as right here, you'll see. This is both the original and then the song with an SSL strip on every single instance, on every single channel, and just like stock, I just placed it. So it has no, so what you'll be hearing is just the channel strip. And if I flip the phase on the other one, you can hear the sizzle if you pay really close attention. And that difference that you're hearing is the difference between both versions of the song. So which means that the SSL version is saturating the top end ever so slightly and making it a little less bright, which is kind of what hardware does. It saturates the top end, which is why older music tends to sound warmer. So here I'll compare the regular song to the version with more input gain. This also has the flip phase. And lastly, the one with the total harmonic distortion at max for every channel. So the total harmonic distortion is the most different, which makes the most sense since it's the version with the most amount of saturation. But the funny thing about it is the keyboard, it almost feels like the vocals go away when you flip the phase. And then everything else kind of seems unaffected. It's very interesting. Here, I'll play it again. With the phase shift. Actually, let me turn up ever so slightly. All right, so that's just a quick video showcasing the hardware emulation of the plugin, which is I'm not exactly sure how accurate it is. I've never mixed on an SSL console, but it definitely is imprinting some sort of saturation onto the signal. So even at no processing whatsoever on the plugin, you are still getting some processing in terms of the saturation. And then you can go crazy. You can crank up the harmonic distortion and try and get it super crunchy, but definitely has its own sound. So that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys on the next time.